Today is March 13th. Yankees spring training still in full swing. We're going to find out who's the opening day starting pitcher. Let's talk Yanks. Also going to recheck in on the roster. So many people forget. From these two fine dudes. Bam. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Jimmy. Jake is with me. BBD is here as well. We're in the Owner's Suite studio in Jersey City. Too much Italian talk before the show. And at our warehouse in Jersey City. Jake is wearing white long-sleeve undergarment with a purple John Boy Media t-shirt, Shady Ray Shays, and a Yankees ball cap. Jake, how are you?
James Davis.
Describe me for the people just listening on the podcast that need the visuals.
James is wearing a John Boy Media tie-dye hoodie, one of our popular sellers ever. Team Baggage, a 7-pane hat, breathable. I can't see your pantaloons, and you tend to not wear undergarments, so that's where I'm currently at.
Headphones over your right ear.
Yeah, but the left's playing free safety. I like that.
That's good.
Yeah, this is...
Let us know if you want to always have visual aids in the intro in the future.
This is a casual power fit for me. It's like, wait, is he doing something athletic? Is he just cold? Putting on the Yankee hat today felt nice. I think once every 2 weeks, I let the people know this is who I am. And we're sneaking up on baseball. We've got a game across the big pond next week. And then we're playing real games, and that's where we're trying to figure out. Well, the Yankees are doing some elite Yankee funny business with the rotation / the Garrett Cole injury through a wrench that they might not have a plan yet.
And the heel, that was earlier.
Heel didn't help.
Still, they set all the dates when guys are going to pitch and not pitch based on the home games, away games, off games beforehand. Topper, now manager of the Phillies, was the mastermind. I wonder who does it now in spring. But yeah, Topper was the guy when he ran spring training for Girardi and Boone for a year or two that would lay out the entire
You know
thing.
who it is.
Who do you think it is? Oh, you think it's Brad?
It's Brad.
I don't know. I don't know if he likes doing it.
Brad loves a spreadsheet.
It's a lot. It's a lot to look. You probably your brain, their brain has to be wired because I'm trying to deconstruct it.
Yeah.
And then it took me a while, but I did deconstruct what they had set up. And it is hard for them to pivot to who's the opening day starter and how much does it matter. I bet they wish they were opening on the road because then it doesn't fully, you can you can get crazier or whatever it is. Obviously, last year, if you remember, they had to make some moves, and Stroman was set up to pitch the home opener, and they had a similar situation where they had to switch some guys around, and he was like, no, I'm on a routine. I don't want to switch that just for one game.
Right.
The other opener or whatever. So we're looking at, right now, an interesting opening day starter at Yankee Stadium.
Yes.
I don't know. I'll tell you who lines up. Do you want me to slow play it a little more?
How about this? I'll set the scene and then we'll crime lab this. Not a phrase, but people can assume what it means. I'll lay out the scene and then you give us some of your early detective work.
Okay.
You would assume Garrett Cole gets hurt. The Yankees would audible to Max Fried, the $200 man that they brought in to be the 1-2 this year to be the 1. I think Max Fried has pitched opening days before that I don't know. Max Fried, new mustache, great pitcher. Sure, why not? Okay, Max Fried was lined up for game 2. You just made a $200 investment for this man for the next 8 years, and you just watched another star starting pitcher get hurt. Okay, maybe there's no need to get him off of his schedule. It is opening day, sure, for fans and maybe the front office. It means a little more. But the Yankees as an organization, they don't fully care. So let's keep Max Fried. So then does Rodon jump in?
I'll pause you on Max Fried because it's even more
Clark's got some back stuff. Will Warren's out.
No.
What? See, that's how we do it, man. That's Crime Lab.
Max Fried, if they were opening in a southern or a roofed arena, they wouldn't have the off day after opening day.
Right.
So when you set your guy to be your game 2 opener, starting pitcher, and you're playing in the Northeast or the North, it's actually 2 days behind Cole.
Right.
So he's on schedule to pitch 2 days after Cole because you have that off day. If it was that off day didn't exist, I think they could easily adjust Max Fried and say you're going to pitch 1 day earlier, and they have the ability to shuffle the schedule, but they can't. And he has been lined up. And Boone did have quotes about this saying, like, it's deep into the camp, and we have him lined up to pitch game 2. He's pitching today, March 13th. And then my guess is he will also pitch the home game on March 18th on 4 days rest, which is the normal rest. And then I think he will then get 4 days rest again and pitch the home game on the 23rd. And then he will get the 5 days extra rest and pitch game 2, Saturday, March 29th. So Max Fried,
Are you full eliminating him?
Yeah, well,
okay.
And Boone did. So I think he's eliminated.
Right. But we've seen Yankee funny business. I think it's right, but
the other, and then you would go to Rodon, right?
Sure.
Well, Rodon has been set up to pitch game 3. And Rodon is also super interesting because the last time we saw Rodon in a public game was February 27th.
Right.
Because he pitched on February 27th, and then if you do the regular schedule, the next game was an away game, and I think it was way away. It was at Philly, but he had just faced the Phillies, so it was facing them again. So they didn't send Rodon, they sent Will Warren. And then we think he threw a sim game then, and then he hasn't pitched since. He's just been doing sim games, which we don't know the schedule of.
I guess the safe assumption is with him being a day behind Fried, the way we would line it up, is he pitched a sim game this Sunday when they were at the Cardinals facility on the east coast of Florida?
I guessed he pitched a sim game Sunday, March 9th. Now, I think he should start tomorrow if this is right, and Boone's press conference today might have that he starts tomorrow because he's lined up after Fried, which would then have him start Wednesday, March 19th, Monday, March 24th, and then the 30th. If you want him to pitch on opening day, you have to really fuck with it at some point. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah,
You could have him not pitch tomorrow and pitch Sunday, and it would just be a really long rest here, but I don't know how much creatures of habit they are. So they could mess with Rodon, but if they're not going to mess with Fried, I don't think they're going to mess with Rodon.
2 weeks out as we record this.
Yeah.
I'd say Rodon's in play from everything we're talking about with sim games and not being on the field. Because the other thing that I know when we originally, I think was it before Cole got hurt? No, it was after Cole got hurt. We were looking at the first 2 weeks or so of the rotation because this is the evolution of this conversation. There's a lot of funny business the Yankees can do with a couple days off and extra relievers on the roster. That initially I remember, because I think initially we just moved up Fried and we were like, okay, go Fried, Rodon, who cares? If that's out, even if you move Rodon up, there is something to baseball to not having your two lefties back-to-back, if they were to do that second time through the rotation, whether they're waiting to call Will Warren up or Clark Schmidt has some funny business going on with his cranky back, that person can now come in and split up the lefties.
Yeah, because there's 2 off days.
But you need that either
days.
way.
Yeah.
If Rodon's game 3 or game 1, you need that.
So Will Warren and Cookie Carrasco, because they travel to away games,
right?
I can see their map,
right?
And Will Warren pitched the first game of spring, and then Carrasco got in, and then Will Warren the day after him. And then they gave him, 5 days rest, and then Carrasco, and then Will Warren. And then 5 days rest, Carrasco, and then Will Warren. So they're scheduled to keep doing that the next couple weeks, which has Will Warren exactly lined up for opening day and Cookie Carrasco lined up for the day before him. So that's bizarre, but is available if they want that, just for opening day, whatever. It also...
You think they do that to Will Warren, though? No way, right?
Shrug.
No way. I think they do it to Carrasco. I don't think they do it to Will Warren.
Yeah, I don't know. They've done... I think they do it to Carrasco. I still think both of those guys are going to be in... I think they're going to do a 6-man rotation the first way through. Because Max Fried being the 2 and the off days, it's really funky how this lines up. And that's kind of what Boone's quotes were. He was like, yeah, we got to figure it out. Like, they don't know right now. I don't blame them for not knowing. It's kind of bizarre how they're going to do it.
And I think the only other missing piece, we've mentioned Clark Schmidt. Clark Schmidt is going to pitch on the road in Arizona. What's the date? The third.
He's pitching
sixth game of the season.
He's pitching the off day.
A sim game in Tampa.
The 28th.
Right, opening day, right? Or no,
the day after
Friday,
opening day.
Friday.
And then coming to the rotation April 3rd.
Right.
So that allows them to start the year with Cookie Carrasco because Clark Schmidt's not going to be on there, and then you don't lose. Yeah, but the way they do, the way we talk about them doing veterans. So then, then Clark could split the righty-lefty there if you want, but Fried has to pitch after Clark because otherwise it would be short rest right away.
They're not going to do that.
It would be pitching on 3 days rest if they wanted him to get in that D-back series. They're not going to do that.
No.
So I think you pencil Max Fried in for the start of the third series, the Pirates. I think that's who they play.
I believe so.
And then Rodon would go after him because he's also not going to go on short rest or the day 3 starter. So it gets interesting because...
So the only name we're missing now having the Clark's part figured out is Marcus Stroman.
Yeah. And Stroman has not pitched in a long time as well because he's a vet and doesn't go on the road, even though he did pitch an away game. So I don't know why he hasn't pitched because he went all the way to pitch an away game at Braves facility.
The sim game Yankees think they have a plan.
And then Friday, March 7th, Stroman pitched, and that was after Cole. So, yeah, he should be in play. Depending on when we see him next, we'll definitely know.
Yeah, I mean, I think Stroman, maybe this ends with I don't know if you're into pie charts, but maybe this ends with a pie chart. I think Stroman is significantly in play. I think literally the only thing in the back of the Yankees' heads is, we have his player profile and projection coming out soon, but if Marcus Stroman hits 140 innings pitched this year, that taps into his vesting option that he'd be on for $18 million the next season. So if you're starting him game 1, you're already you're backing yourselves up a little bit. But he's Marcus Stroman.
I think he's going to pitch. I think that would be like 75% of my par chart would be Stroman pitching opening day.
Your what chart?
Par chart. That's what I'd have.
Stroman has to have a big percentage. I mean, some of the throwing off-day stuff, I think the Yankees care a little less about Stroman. Like, figure it out. You'll be fine. You're a pro. Injury-wise, like I said with the innings thing, I won't go down with that, but you can fill in your own blanks. And he's Marcus Stroman. Like, we talked a lot last year about him wanting the Bronx first game and that kind of thing. That would seem to line up. And that first game, if they play on that Thursday, there's an off day Friday. I think they're going to start with 1, if not 2 extra bullpen arms that you really only need 3 or 4 innings the way the Yankees like to manage this thing, where I think Stroman or Cookie Carrasco are heavy in play.
It just makes the rest of the rotation really odd. Because so you go Stroman opening day,
Right.
off day, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, and then off day again, right? So Stroman can pitch the first game of that D-backs series.
Mm.
Then Stroman's pitching 2 games before Max Fried or Rodon pitch 2 games.
Right.
And that gets kind of odd. Or you can go just a 6-man rotation first way through and then reset the rotation when you get to that third series and maybe split up the lefties. And now you have Cookie Carrasco up, so you're not losing an asset, and you give Will Warren like a taste, which I don't know if that's worth it or not. So otherwise, you just, who's the 5th starter?
So if it is
someone needs to start that's not the 5
right,
in the rotation, which is Stroman, Fried, Rodon, Schmidt, well, that's 4.
Those guys would be 4. So we think the first time through, Cookie and Warren should both get a look.
Maybe they
I
piggyback
don't
a
think
game,
they do.
or that you keep them both there and piggyback them.
I think they're gonna.
I think Carlos Carrasco is going to get.
I think they're not
April
gonna.
2nd.
I think they're not gonna call up Clark. Like Clark's not gonna be on the opening day roster.
No, he's not going to be on the roster.
I don't think you need Will Warren on the opening day roster.
I think if Clark's pitching game 6 of the season,
He has minor league
day
options.
7. But if he's optioned, does that mean he has to stay down the first 10 games?
I don't
unless
believe
there's an
so.
injury?
No,
It always
I
gets
think you
funky
just.
to
I
open
think
the
you
year.
just make the roster. You don't make the roster, and then you can be
It
called
does-
up
not a clock.
because it's not like he's getting sent down.
It could go either way.
they
Yeah.
did this with Jordan Montgomery in 2018,
They love this.
right?
Yeah.
like he
Yeah.
didn't
'Cause if
make
they can get away with
opening
that, then they won't.
I think Clark and Will Warren are not on the opening day roster.
I think Clark's not. They don't have much bullpen to have long relief. So if they do want him in that role for the start of it,
Well, that's where they have. I don't know that the litany. Is that the right word? They just have a ton of veteran bullpen relievers / like Sean Boyle, Alan Winans. Who else in the bullpen? Colton Brewer, like
Hedrick.
Brett Hedrick. Have we seen Yuri De Los Santos?
Yeah.
That I think they're going to. Let's say it's Stroman. So it would be Stroman opening day, day off, Fried Rodon. That brings us to the 30th. April 1st. That would be. Who am I missing? I guess Carrasco.
does this help you at all? This is the
Maybe. But yeah, there's still a missing piece there. Hims! Today's episode is brought to you by Hims. Fellas, life is stressful. You got plenty to worry about. And you don't need to worry about the bedroom. Hims provides access to treatments that can help you stay hard longer. Bang! Giving you the boost of confidence you
Wiener.
need when the mood strikes. Hims is changing men's healthcare, providing you with access to affordable sexual men's health. Nice. Or sexual health. Treatments from the comfort of your couch. The process is 100% online. No need for uncomfortable doctor's visits. Start your free online trial. Visit hims.com/Yanks. HIMS.com/Yanks for your personalized ED treatment options. Man, the products mentioned are chewable compounded products which are not approved by or verified or safety effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details. Important safety information. Subscription required. Prices vary based on this product and subscription plan.
Hell yeah. That was
Hard.
that was a really good make, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, right here, this second game of the D-back series, Warren or Carrasco has to make a start there.
Okay, so yeah, you'd push Stroman. And then you do Carrasco, I think.
Yeah, that's what I think. Carrasco is going to make a start because they love not losing assets. And at
Yeah.
this point, yeah, you shouldn't. You're out.
And then if Cookie Carrasco is on the team, which I do think at this point probably makes sense, do you need Will Warren?
No, it would just
No.
be if they wanted to do a piggyback, if
Right.
they want to reward him, if he's earned it, if they really like it, if they think he's the best option,
I think he'll actually
and
help.
he might stick. Like, he might stick.
Yeah. I don't see the Yankees using that lens. I think it's more so stay stretched out. You're an asset for us. One less thing.
Yeah.
We don't have to instantly burn the option on Will Warren, even though we're assuming he's going to be up at some point and pretty soon. That, yeah, for me, I guess I think that's plan A right now in my head. It would be Stroman, Fried, Rodon, Cookie, Stroman, Clark, and now you're back to him. You have the two lefties going in Pittsburgh, and now you kind of have your five. I guess the other thing that we should map out that, again, shouldn't be that different. Because we said, hey, like with Stroman pitching these sim games or whatever, Rodon is doing the same thing. That maybe they're just like, hey, Rodon, give him a little extra rest one day, and he's lined up for game one. That then you go, Rodon.
Yeah, it's really hard to get Rodon.
How do you mean?
Just the way he's scheduled.
Yeah, but they can cook that with a day or two pretty easily.
That's what I've been trying to do, and it's hard. It's if they won't do it with Fried, I don't think they're going to do it with Rodon because it's easily as not like feasible.
I mean, even if you just give him extra rest heading into the first start.
Yeah, so say you give him 5 days rest first start.
Okay.
Then he would need to pitch on the 21st. And that's 5 days rest. And then you want it 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he would need to pitch on Sunday. This Sunday. And then you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you need to give them 6 days rest at some point. And they're such creatures of like, it's not just their start that is the habit.
Well, they
It's
might have
their-
already done that,
their
right?
throw days in between. Well, Boone's quotes yesterday were kind of prepping us for like, it's going to be someone you don't expect because we're not moving the guys around. That's
Right.
I forget. I don't know what he said, but his tone was very much of that. They could move Rodon if he pitches tomorrow. Then he's out. Then it's impossible.
Unless there's some extra rest that they would do that we're not.
I think they
Game
do it
plan.
for Fried then.
It
It would be the same thing.
Fried's the new sexier asset. I mean, what? Rodon's down to 4 years left. Fried has 8.
Yeah, but they didn't do it for Stroman last year, and he was not a sexy asset.
Right. Let's say it is Rodon, because I think these are the final two. I mean, maybe there's on the pie chart, there's a 1% Cookie Carrasco. Get out there and twirl it, and it becomes a fun fact. But if it's Rodon, then it's Rodon, Fried. Then you're going Stroman, probably, right?
Yes, but they'd have to get funky with him too.
Stroman or Cookie. And then
Yeah.
the next game is Stroman or Cookie. And then you're back to Rodon, right? So that's the solution to get Rodon 2 starts in your first 4 games or your first 5 games instead of Stroman.
Yeah, Rodon, Fried, Carrasco.
Carrasco, Rodon, Clark.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, extra rest for Rodon.
And now
Clark.
you've broken up the lefties in the rotation. Not that that's their top priority, but it's a nice to have.
Yeah, it's extra rest for Fried. Like he goes on 5 days again. Doesn't really mess him up at all. Yeah. That's the other option. I would have it right now at like 75% Stroman, 15% Will Warren Carrasco bulk bullpen
Wow.
day,
Yeah.
and whatever the remaining is on Rodon.
Yeah, I guess I would have a higher chunk on Rodon.
I just don't think they want to mess with him.
Yeah, but it's spring. We know how the Yankees operate. It could be very conversational with the guys. It probably is. I mean,
Probably is, yeah.
Boone probably.
If you're down to be messed with,
Boone's
Boone's probably.
When's his huddle today? Is it happening right now?
I think it's happening right now because they put a quote out because Oswaldo got scratched today. He's sick.
Oh.
Sick, not hurt.
Sick, not hurt.
Wow.
so there's quotes about that.
Who's replacing Oswaldo?
Peraza.
Heard of him?
Wow. Did they change the lineup?
Yes. Just a straight 1-for-1 sub.
Oh my goodness, because they're a platoon.
I guess knowing how the Yankees operate, I guess I picture Boone asking Carlos Rodon, do you want to start opening day? And I see Carlos Rodon saying yes. So I think I'm boosting his percentages.
I see him saying yes, too, and maybe that's why Boone won't ask him if he's worried. It's definitely that's the situation where you got to think, what's he going to say? And is it going to... Like, maybe Fried would have said yes, too, and they're like, no, dude, we're not fucking with your schedule.
Right.
Wow, Jeff McNeil, 7 to 10 days without baseball activities. Bummer. All right. Check those quotes for us, Beebs.
Quote watch.
Quote watch the huddle because I think they're going to ask who's starting tomorrow, and if it's Rodon, we haven't seen him in a while. And it would be the Phillies again, and then it would be like all of his spring starts coming against one team, and do they want that? Who's the better matchup for Rodon, the Brewers or the D-backs? Who's more...
I'd lean Brewers. Yelich, Bryce Terang.
Lefties.
Ketel Marte cranks lefties.
Okay.
That's just my instant reaction scouting report. Diamondbacks had the best offense in baseball last year. The Brewers actually finished like 4th or something. But if I can take out Yelly and make Bryce Terang not a pest, I think I'd take that.
The homer risks.
Jake Bowers. Whoa! Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. You know what? It might be 300,001 because I'm wearing my Shady Rays right now. I wear them pretty much every day. They become part of my signature because they are my signature. Thanks to Shady Rays, they made some Jimmy and Jake pairs. They've got a whole collection. Go check it out at shadyrays.com. And with code YANKS, 35% off your next pair of premium polarized sunglasses. So you see a pair of sunglasses, you're like, I like that. Wait, that's already a pretty good price. Oh, wait, why don't I use code YANKS? Save myself 35%. And now it's like, great. So... you know I'm not reading off a piece of paper. Go to shadyrays.com. Use code YANKS, 35% off. Code YANKS. Get yourself a pair. Summer's coming. Wow.
Summer's coming. Wells is in the leadoff spot again.
Yeah.
So I think he's the leadoff hitter. And they threw Dominguez up today to get more at-bats. He's in the 2-hole for the second time this season.
Okay.
And that keeps everybody else in their kind of spots.
Yeah, because Belly stays 3. Bellinger has hit 3rd.
So no Judge.
No Judge. Yeah. Belly's hit 3. Goldschmidt's hitting 4. Jazz hitting 5. Volpe hitting 6. Today's lineup has a lot of familiar themes. Grisham 7. The last time they did this, when Judge was in, Dominguez would be 7. Then it would be Peraza and Rice is DHing from the 9-hole today.
Could be.
Yeah, could be. All right. Let's get to baseball, am I right?
Right.
But it also feels like we're not ready yet because we don't even know who's pitching, and the starters haven't really pitched a lot because the schedule's been weird. The high-end relievers aren't really getting in games at all because Boone said they're not. He was like, we're not that worried about it. But that is interesting.
Like, this is, I guess, the week that
so what
should
is
start seeing those guys. But
Backfield Yanks, man.
Who else is our high-end reliever? We got Luke Weaver, Devin Williams, Fernando Cruz, Tim Hill. Is there anyone else you'd put in that boat of like who?
They love Hamilton, but is he hurt?
He's hurt, right?
Is he backfields?
I
think he's
believe he
hurt.
still hasn't gotten into a game.
Wasn't he on
Infection early in camp and has been slow.
Who does Fangraphs have on the?
Like Fangraphs still has Ian Hamilton, and they've taken away some of the injury guys. So it's their rankings: Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, Ian Hamilton, Fernando Cruz, Tim Hill, Mark Leiter Jr., and then Yogo and Brett Hedrick.
I'm not going to add those two to my list of
What was
searching
that?
here.
We'll go out of options, but not a high leverage guy.
So
He's 25 years old.
Devin Williams has seen 2 games now. That's good. Good for him. March 4th and March 11th. Weaver has pitched in 1 game, March 6th. Tim Hill has pitched in a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Cruz has pitched in a bunch too. Wonder if Cruz has had better results. His first outing got lit up. Cruz has thrown 81 pitches this spring.
Whoa.
Seems like a lot, right?
Yeah.
Tim Hill has thrown 61. Luke Weaver, 21. Only 1 outing.
He's kind of just a content guy now.
Luke Weaver got lit up too. Fastballs only, baby. Well, they all have bad stats. Besides Mark Leiter Jr.
Yep.
0 walks.
Moxie.
37% K. Get it, Mark. It excites me.
And so Beater's banged up, right? And those are words you'd like to say, so I'll let you say it.
New or just he was like they had him as a slow camp because he was getting over something. Does he have a new?
Didn't they
injury?
say he wasn't breaking camp with the team?
I'm not sure.
I think they did.
Which guy?
Beater.
I believe he's taking it slow and starting on the ILs. He's recovering from the shoulder stuff, and they're just like slow playing his spring.
So Beater's out. Matzik's out, which means
Well, Matzik said the MRI shows this, but I don't have it.
right, which doesn't really help.
De Los Santos they like.
They like him. He has options, which that maybe makes him a great option to start on the team, and then Clark or Warren taps him out.
Hey, guess how many De Los Santos have pitched in the bigs or are active right now?
Active, I would say 4.
1, 2, 3. I don't know if these are active the way Baseball Savant does it, but Abel for the Reds they have. Aniel for
We know Aniel.
The Braves. Fautino for the A's. Fautino says he's started pitching in 2012, so he might not be around. And then Valerio 2008 started for the Rockies. I don't know if he's still around. But that was more De Los Santos than I was expecting to see.
Okay.
Baseball Reference has 3 of them active.
Okay.
Good.
Yeri De Los Santos, 67 pitches this spring. He's
Okay, so I have Yeri on the team, and he's the perfect send down, we don't lose him guy.
Yeah. So is Yogo, right?
So Yogo, like BBD mentioned, doesn't have options that if the Yankees like him a little bit, he's on the team, and there's your length you're looking for out of the bullpen.
The trick they could do is if they opening day him and then DFA when teams have like set their rosters and they can
Right.
Then he clears
hopefully sneak
waivers.
him through waivers. That's the trick they could pull with him.
He's pitched a decent amount, and his stats are very good. So are Yeri's. Those two guys actually have really good stats.
Well, and the other thing that might hurt Yeri on the other side of it
Are we
is-
saying that right? Yeri?
I think so.
Yeri?
Jerry with a Y.
Yoendris and Yeri, the Y boys?
Baseball References Yeri.
Again, a win for if they were going to lose Colton Brewer out of spring training, they wouldn't lose Yeri De Los Santos. So maybe that's actually a negative for him.
Yeri.
Rob Zastrinsky.
Who's the guy? Oh, there was one guy that maybe we shouldn't say.
Okay.
I remember someone at spring said, like, he's not ready to break camp, but we really like him.
Okay.
Forget who it was. It was a reliever.
Yeah, he's young.
I think that strike that, start again. Here's a little test for you. Because when I was looking at the starting pitching last couple of years, I also looked at the bullpen a little bit. Who had the third most innings pitched out of the Yankees bullpen last year?
Last year.
Guess 1 and 2 if you want as well.
I mean, I'd assume Weave Dog.
I believe he was 2.
Right.
Or he might have been 1. He was 1 or 2.
Last year's Yankees. That's so last year. I mean, I'd throw Clay out, but he's kind of 1 inning guy, so I don't know.
He's 2.
Okay.
84 innings pitched for Weaver, 63 for Clay Holmes.
I guess you'd want Canely, but I think he missed a little bit of time. And then it's a hodgepodge of like Cousins, Hammy. Who stuck it out? Tim Hill came over late. Porkins?
Tim Hill's 4.
Wow.
That was 4.
Tim Hill, 4th most.
Yeah,
Weaver was our long man when we left spring.
right.
So you got enough like early big chunks.
And,
Well,
but
he was
also,
doing
but
2 inning outings.
Yeah.
yeah, but also I'm
Yeah,
just
he did
saying,
steal
just
out
saying
4
that's where we.
plus outs.
Tim Hill started the year on the White Sox,
Right.
4th most innings, playoff guy.
Right,
Luke Weaver started the year out as a long man,
right,
became our closer.
right. Which
3rd most innings, Tonkin,
Tonkin truck, man.
Wow.
who was another guy we picked up who got DFA'd twice.
And cut him early.
And then Canely was next. Then Jake Cousins was 6th or 5th, wherever I'm at. And then when I went past down the years doing that for the Yankees, like 2023, reliever number 1 was King. Kind of doesn't, I don't even know if that counts. And then Albert Abreu was 2.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little less surprised just because a lot of those guys you're mentioning have been multi-inning guys. Like Tonkin went on to clean up some 2 innings. I think he got a couple 3 innings
Yeah, but I could do it by
appearances.
I could do it by holds as well. You know,
Like if you did holds, I'd assume Canely jumps Tonkin. Could be wrong.
let's see. I will do it. But the conclusion that I was coming to and that I was trying to share is I have decided to not even worry about the bullpen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think it's worth looking at. The only thing I worry about is when a guy has too much fake prestige and they refuse to take him out of the closer role, even though he's about to break the record, and then now he's not even a closer. How's Clay doing as a starter in spring? Good.
I believe he's had a
Looking
good,
fantastic.
statistically good spring. And looks
4th
good.
most holds last year's team. Weaver had the most, then Canely, then Hamilton. Do you want to know 4th most?
Cousins.
Ferg.
Oh, God.
Do you know the Yankees
Is that why they
bullpen?
stopped tracking holds?
Probably, but he did get in a lot of situations last
did.
year.
Track him.
Did you know the Yankees were really good last year at blown saves across the league?
Because Weaver was good.
Yeah, and everyone else when they got put in that position, like they did it well.
That gets cooked a little bit. Because Jake Cousins comes in for 1 righty out.
Sure,
It's a hold.
sure, but still, I think it's
But it's part you don't like about the Yankees.
it's of note that where's the team? My note is they were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams had less blown saves than them. So 21st or 22nd, down or 9th best, however you want to say it. They had 21, and Clay was 13 of them.
Right.
And that's also Clay plus the defense.
Yeah.
So I think it brings into a different light of how good the bullpen was.
Yeah, it's Matt Blake's been awesome. And yeah, I don't know. I think those numbers can get cooked in different ways that I'd have to see the other bullpens in that top 9.
Okay, what about this stat? Losses in relief.
Okay. Sounds bad.
So, like, the relief pitchers blew the game.
Right.
The Yankees had 20 of them. The Padres had 19. The
Great
Guardians
bullpen.
had 12. Those are your top 3.
Best bullpen.
Those are the top 3
Yeah.
where the relief blew the game.
Right.
Wins in relief. That's kind of more of an offensive
That gets
stat for
cooked
me.
a little bit.
I think that's more of an offensive
because Clay gives up 1 to tie the game. Yankees win.
Yeah. But losses in relief, that's...
You don't want it.
Yeah, blown saves, but also losses tie game. Oh, that's cool.
Yanks bullpen has been awesome.
I know. Because I was like, should we talk about it? And I was like, I don't even know if we should.
Even, postseason Clay was like great. So that's how we're supposed to kind of measure guys.
Baseball Reference has a stat that I never looked at called cheap wins.
Okay.
Wins in starts with 6 innings pitched or more than 3 earned runs. So wins in non-quality starts.
Right.
The Yankees were tied for 3rd in that. Good offense.
Should be your Bombers. That's how I grew up.
Okay, now
Andy Pettit, David Wells.
Now they have tough losses. Starting pitcher gives you a quality start, and you lose.
Right.
Only 4 on the year.
Yeah.
If the Yankees got a good start last year, and that's kind of how we've summed up the Yankees. They win their wins.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I'd want to see all of the league just because, to have a starting pitcher go like the Mariners being in that makes a ton of sense.
Oh, yeah. Blue Jays had good pitching.
But yeah, there's only so many games nowadays. I guess it's more important for me to win your good starts.
Yes. Well, you look at the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Mariners, they led the league in that, and the Angels.
Right.
Teams that Blue Jays and Mariners have pitchers, but the offense was letting them down.
Right.
So it's more offense and relief than starters.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else? I was going to look something up and I forgot.
More righty chatter if we want to do it.
Oh, yeah. Beebs has a list of guys that might get dropped from other teams.
Right.
And a list of just guys who are free agents right now that we didn't, I think, discuss at length the previous times we've talked about this.
Who's scoring big this NBA season? You are, with all new ways to get in on the action with our partners at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you use code YANKS. From monster slams, dishing the rock, cleaning the glass, get behind your favorite players, and prop bets you can make at DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers, use code YANKS. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's code YANKS only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Where do you want to go? I'm going to check to see if Boone said anything.
I haven't seen any new quotes since our last check-in, but...
Me neither. But I haven't looked yet. Come on.
I just think the only thing I'd want to...
Oh, they did do it.
What do we got?
Rodon is pitching the 15th. That's an away game.
Rodon.
I don't know where they are. But I do wonder if that's to avoid the Phillies again. He's going to Tampa, wherever the Tampa is.
15th, Tampa on the road. And that's Saturday instead of tomorrow.
So give me 15th, 21, opening day. Bada bing, bada boom.
Friday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 days rest would then be March 21st, which is another away game. Away Rodon. Tigers. So that's close away game. And he's going to be facing the split squad Tigers team. But they're starters. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Opening day. There you go. My pie chart now changes to 100% Carlos Rodon. Just need the math to math. Whole front of the episode done. Yeah, because now I don't even know if they could get him. He could pitch. He could pitch on 4 days rest the 20th, 4 days rest the 25th, and then 4 days rest and 5 days rest the 3rd. So that's still an option for them if they want.
Sure.
Because that's how they're doing most guys 5 days rest before the season starts, or you can go opening day. Depends how many more starts they want them to make. Because they want to make 3 more starts or 2 more starts. I guess that's the question. Now I'm 50-50.
Okay.
And Winans is pitching tomorrow. He gets the home start tomorrow against the Phillies. That would push Carrasco down from where he's slotted. All right. Good stuff. Alan Winans. Righties. Sorry.
You're good. I don't know. I've essentially already given my piece on this last episode, but I guess the thing for me is I thought in my head third baseman only or third baseman DH types were in play. I don't think they are because I don't think a DH only is in play. And then I think if a third baseman is in play, you're now messing with the Oswalds like we talked about that. I think it's outfield only. I think the names of note on here that BBD put, Mark Canha and Manny Margot, both at camp with Milwaukee, both can play corner outfielder. Margot, note in here, the Yankees have tried to track down a couple times. And Mark Canha is a guy who's played in New York City before and, I don't know, has a little Yankee to him that I could definitely see something like that if it's not any of the outfield versatile guys. Like Whit Merrifield is back on this list that it's like, yeah, I think the Yankees would be interested in something like that.
Does Margot have good splits?
He hit about league average versus lefties. Terrible against righties last season.
Like that.
Okay.
I guess we'd just be getting him for the lefties.
Yeah, in 2022, he crushed lefties. All right, so if he's like a platoon, I don't, just talking. If they were to get him, if they're looking for a platoon for Dominguez, because they haven't really let him hit lefties yet this spring, and someone that gives you assets off the bench, Margot is a ooh, ah.
He's got a little ooh-ah to his game. Yeah.
Again, not a giant needle mover.
And we talked about him. We've talked about him in previous years because the Yankees have had some interest to him. And, yeah, at least he's got a game plan. Like, go out there, catch some balls, put it in play. Maybe this new Yankees baseball. Canha a little more. Canha hit lefties really good last year. He got on base at a 380 clip versus lefties. And he has a little bit of slight old versatility to him. Like seeing those names, again, I don't know if it's them. I don't know if it's someone else. But Everson Pereira that we've been half daydreaming on, the Yankees assigned him to minor league camp, so they kind of nipped that in the bud. I think a veteran righty outfielder that they've openly admitted they're looking for is going to happen. A little more wild card comes in with the catcher position that we've done. Yeah.
You want updates from Margot and Canha's camps so far?
Sure.
Mark Canha's only had 14. Let's skip the updates.
Done.
Skip the Brewers places I checked out in assembling that list says Canha is the more likely of the two to just make the Brewers.
Huh?
But
It's not showing him much this spring. Yeah, tough.
Yeah.
Tough numbers. Both those guys. But as a platoon guy, bench piece, they want, maybe it makes sense. Because right now, it's
has a tool.
I know a future PvP hasn't come out yet, and I was talking about Pablo Reyes, but he he started one game in left field. He started like a couple in right. He started some everywhere across the diamond.
Right.
They've started him. So maybe they like that versatility, but off the bench.
Well, the thing that now is becoming in question is going to be a catcher. One of the Oswalds is not a starter. So now we're down to Ben Rice, Dom Smith, Pablo Reyes, secret new outfielder. That's 4 for 2 spots.
And I guess at least one of, if you're carrying both Rice and Smith, one is the DH.
And I will say, I'll correct myself. Someone tweeted this out and they tagged me in it. And I said, oh, my bad.
So they're correcting you.
But they were rude about it.
Okay.
They didn't do it very nicely.
They didn't do it. Well, they didn't do it nicely. And his name is Toxic. Because he said John Boy was complaining yesterday. He has no idea what the hell everyone is seeing out of Ben Rice. And I wouldn't say I was complaining. I was saying I was curious because everyone was so excited about Ben Rice. And then I looked at his numbers and they were bad.
Right.
And I was like, oh, because I was on vacation, didn't watch it. And then he went on to say, and he doesn't want spring training games televised and thinks Dom Smith is really good. And I was like, well, the not televised thing was kind of like just a thing. And I didn't say about Dom Smith. I liked him. Anyway, what he's tagging me in is a post from Ryan Garcia, who says people might look at his spring training OPS and think he hasn't earned the DH job, but I'd be the first to strongly disagree. Ben Rice has a 21% whiff rate. He has an 86% hard hit rate. His average exit velo is 98.1. I don't know what 90 exit velo means. It means like highest. So
average.
His average is 98, and then it says 90 EV 111. Does that mean like average over 90? 90 EV can refer to a few things, including nope, not that. 90th percentile exit velocity. So I think it's like when you hit the ball hard, what's your average there? It takes out all the non-barrels, kind of. So now I understand what people that were watching the games and saying that see, and I apologize. The results haven't come, much like Wells at the start of the year, but they're saying he's hitting the shit out of the ball. So way to go, Ben Rice. Yeah, so would you say the bench right now, one of the Oswalds, backup catcher, Ascara, unless they trade him, looks like it.
We've talked Alex Jackson, funny business. Do you keep him on the roster for a couple days to try to keep him? Do they find another catcher? I think it's still a lot easier to say catcher.
I mean,
because I don't think they go Ascara.
I also don't think they do Ben Rice on the team as the backup catcher, because then
as the 2.
You're not going to DH him.
As him being able to be a third catcher could be a nice little asset for
sure. But some people are like,
games.
he'll be the backup catcher, and because you're not going to put 2 in the lineup.
Can't play Oswald though.
Yeah. So could it be it's Rice or Smith? It can't be both. Question mark to you. I think it can't.
I think it can. Because then you're basically saying Dom is the DH.
And left field?
And Rice is your just backup hitter.
And then one of the Oswalds and one of the catchers. Yeah, I mean, it could.
I don't love it, but
I don't love it. I'd rather them, even if it's Pablo Reyes or if it's like a Margot or Canna opt out and they grab him. Like, I'd rather them start with someone who has a little more options.
Yeah.
But there's no one else besides Pablo Reyes that might even be in contention for that spot.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's just an interest. Like if
that's like with the team right now.
If you start Dom Smith on the roster, you're basically saying he's our starting DH for an extended period of time.
Yeah, you're kind of like getting yourself stuck with him.
Like you're
giving him April.
You're locking yourself in for at least a month. Which, hey, Dom Smith has like league average versus righty stuff, which as a 7-hole hitter ain't awful, but I don't know. It just the roster loses a lot of flexibility. It like at that point, is it better? Is it better to have Ben Rice on the team and twice a week he plays first and Goldie DHs, so you keep Goldie like healthy? Like, I think so.
Yeah.
So that's where I'd. But I guess could you say that with with Dom Smith playing first base once a week and Ben Rice is in the minors waiting?
And then getting everyday reps in the minors
Yeah.
rating. Because I think whoever makes it, they should give him everyday reps.
So Dom Smith, catcher, and Oswald.
I mean, yeah, so Dom Smith's hard hit percentage this spring is 36, where Ben Rice is 70, but Dom has, his slash line is way better because he's got some results. And that's because he put a couple out of the seats, which metrics don't really matter if it's
Probably
far enough.
Dom Smith.
I would say just reading what they do, it's probably Dom Smith because then they get Rice to get everyday at bats.
They keep an asset.
And they keep an asset.
Dom Smith's a pro, like a well-respected pro. He can play a day at first base, get Goldie off his feet, and then you just need a righty hitting outfielder that, hopefully if that person hits lefties decently, then you can DH Dominguez for a day, or you could DH that guy for a day instead of Dom Smith.
Yeah.
If they want Rice to keep the catching tool, then the way he's going to do that is get a month of everyday run catching at AAA. But
Do they care?
they very well might not.
Because
Care.
doesn't Escara need everyday catching run? Like they
He's
like
30.
him, right? But they like Escara.
Give us that trade in a week or so.
Gives that trade.
Just
All
a
right.
trade.
Thanks, guys. I'm trying to figure a lot of stuff out here. Some stuff is coming together. Not everything. Warren?
Looks good.
Okay.
Change some things.
Slider's got some of that.
Yeah.
Use that change up.
All righty. Goodbye. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen.
Go Yankees.
Go Yankees. Ba-da-dum, bow, bow.